Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Here are today's top headlines. Another runaway Toyota Prius. Cadillac dumps all references to GM, and Nissan unveils a new commercial van. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Wednesday, March 10, 2010, and now the news. And there are more runaway Priuses in the news. Yesterday, it was a runaway Prius in California. Today, it's one in New York. The Detroit Free Press reports that a 56-year-old woman in the Westchester area was pulling out of a parking lot when it allegedly accelerated out of control and hit a stone wall. She only had minor injuries. Meanwhile, in more Toyota news, the AP quotes Toyota executive Don Esmond as saying, sales jumped 50% in the first 8 days of March, thanks to new sales incentives in the American market. And Edmunds.com says Toyota is likely to see a 30% increase in sales for the full month. But Ward's reports that in China, Toyota dropped off the top 10 list of automakers based on sales. And a poll by the Chinese website, Sina.com, says over 70% of Chinese now say they will not buy a Toyota or Honda due to their recent quality problems. Cadillac doesn't want anyone to think it has anything to do with General Motors. According to Bloomberg, Cadillac will remove the GM name from all of its advertising and its dealerships, and will even change its email addresses from @gm.com to Cadillac.com. Cadillac will no longer participate in any GM sales promotions like the Red Tag event. Cadillac feels that GM's bankruptcy has tarnished the brand and wants to avoid being associated with it. And I would add, it don't need them stinking GM badges either. Chinese electric car maker BYD may open a North American headquarters and build an assembly plant in the Los Angeles area. According to Gascue, the company met with city officials about locating there, and it has spoken to several other cities in Southern California. BYD says it will start selling its E6 electric car in the U.S. this year. Recently, we reported the power output from Ford's new Powerstroke diesel. Ford is claiming best-in-class horsepower and torque figures, but GM begs to differ. The updated 2011 heavy-duty Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra offered a reworked 6.6-liter Duramax engine. Ford's Powerstroke 6.7-liter is good for 390 horsepower and a whopping 735 pound-feet of torque, but GM ups the ante with 397 horsepower and, brace yourself, 765 pound-feet of torque, 30 more than the Super Duty with a slightly smaller displacement. Either way, that is enough power to move mountains, and both engines can run on B20 biodiesel. Nissan just unveiled a new commercial van for the American market. Our colleague, Jeff Gilbert from WWJ News Radio 950, filed this report for us.
This is Nissan's attempt to enter the growing commercial vehicle market in the United States. And it's by far the biggest vehicle they've made in this market. Actually, what you're seeing here is a model that they showed to us. The first vehicles are still being designed before they hit the market later this year. Now, the NV designation is for Nissan Van, and it's coming out in 3 variations at first: the 1500, the 2500, and the 3500. All aimed at a very important growth market.
The commercial van segment in total has probably some of the most dissatisfied owners of any segment in the industry. So we took a look at it and also wanted to capitalize on the opportunity of Nissan's experience from around the world.
Now, Nissan's been selling commercial vehicles around the world. In fact, they pretty much own that market in Mexico. The vehicles they're bringing to the U.S. are designed, though, specifically for use in the United States. As this interior mock-up shows, Nissan plans to add creature comforts, including an interior that can also be used as an office with technology and a special seat material to absorb spills. Now, this is just the start. and Nissan will expand its commercial vehicle presence.
What we'd really like to do, Jeff, is raise our hand for some of the other products that have shown some early success around the world. The first one being the NV200, the small van that's been introduced in Europe and Japan.
Now, the NV200 is very similar to the Ford Transit Connect, which has done very well in the marketplace. And like the Transit Connect, Nissan will have an electric version of the NV200.
Thanks for the report, Jeff. Hey, coming up next, time for You Said It. And now it's time for some of your feedback. Tom Martin wrote in to say, I love the concept of a connected car, but I don't want to pay for another internet connection. I pay $40 a month for my home connection and $30 for my mobile phone connection. Just allow me to plug in my Droid and have a 7-inch screen built into the dash and the audio routed through the car audio system. That's a great point, Tom. You know, automakers want the connected car stuff built into the car, but I think mobile plug-and-play technology is probably going to win out. And Lex thinks that GM is just sitting on its hands. What is going on with the Chevy Cruze, he asks. I cannot believe that the Cruze is available in almost every other major market except in the U.S. GM could be grabbing up all those in the market for a Toyota Corolla-sized vehicle with the Chevy Cruze. Big Ed Whitaker and his gang better hurry up and get the Cruze to market before Toyota finds a fix for their sudden acceleration problem. Big Ed, time's a-wasting, partner. You know, Lex, I remember the day when the American market would always be the first to get the latest and greatest from GM. And Pedro Fernandez has this to say about all those runaway Toyotas. I just wonder how many of those sudden acceleration victims are just media whores looking to get their 15 minutes of fame and a chance to get rich with the let's all sue Toyota mentality that's been so pervasive in the past couple of months. And you know, Pedro, the same thought has crossed my mind that some cases may involve people who are just looking for their 15 minutes. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.